Good morning everyone from Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia. So if you've been following the series all this time, you might be wondering like, what are you doing here? You know, last time I was in Russia, so why am I back here? Why am I back in Georgia? Well, basically I have been forced to come back here and now I'm pretty much stuck here for about 10 days to 2 weeks. It will depend and I'm going to explain to you why that is. But honestly, first I gotta say, I feel so good being back here. Like, okay, I had a really good time in Russia, I'm not gonna lie, it was great. But here it's like, you know, I can use internet, no problem, I don't have to use a VPN. People speak much better English than in Russia. And you know, there's no risk of being arrested while just walking around. So yeah, I feel good being back here. But still, you know, I didn't really come back here by choice. It all has to do with visa issues, specifically in Russia. I didn't speak much about logistics in previous videos because I feel like that's a bit boring. Tell me if you want me to talk a bit more about it during my videos. But anyway, in this one, I'll be talking about this a lot and also make my plans for the future because the mission isn't over. I'm just gonna be stuck here for a while, but then we can keep going, hopefully at least. But anyway, first thing, how did I visit Russia? Well, I had an e-visa. You know, you can apply for an e-visa online. I mean, of course, it depends on your nationality, but if you're French like me, probably some other European countries, you can apply for an e-visa. And the process is pretty straightforward. You need travel insurance, you need to give all of your travel history, your social media, etc., etc. But if you haven't publicly criticized the Russian government, you should be fine and you should be able to get your e-visa. So that's what I did. I paid about $50 and it took me about 4 or 5 days to get the e-visa. Let's say you want to fly into Moscow, fly out of Moscow, or even enter Russia by land border from, I don't know, Estonia or wherever. You can do that with the e-visa, no problem. The thing is, in my situation, it didn't really work because you are restricted to a limited number of entry points, entry and exit points. Okay, so you can enter Russia from Georgia, no issue, you can do that, but you can't exit to Kazakhstan with the e-visa specifically. I think at the Kazakh border they just don't have the facilities like to process the e-visa, so that's why you can't enter Kazakhstan with the Russian e-visa. And this is something I realized way too late actually. I already had my e-visa. When I saw online on Reddit, I saw that, yeah, basically I fucked up. You know, with my current e-visa, I couldn't go into Kazakhstan, so that left me with a choice. Either I went to Russia with my e-visa and then went all the way to, let's say, Mongolia. You know, you can enter Mongolia with the e-visa, but if I did that, I would just skip all of Central Asia and then go directly into China. And I mean, I didn't really want to do that, you know, that really wasn't a good option for me. So the only other option left was to come here in Tbilisi and apply for a transit visa. Ooh, it's actually so hot here, completely different from Russia. It was so cold in Russia. Anyway, no, I was saying it takes about 7 working days, so in reality more closer to 10 days. So you have to stay here in Tbilisi and they keep your passport. And that's what I'm doing right now. So why have I been to Russia before? Well, I didn't want to waste my e-visa, that's the thing. Because with this transit visa, you can only stay in Russia for about 3 days, so just the time you need to get to Kazakhstan. You know, you don't really have any time to go around and see the country. And also I had already paid for the e-visa, so I didn't want to waste it. You know, I wanted to actually take some time to visit Russia and use that e-visa that I already paid for. So that's what I did for about 2 weeks, a bit less than 2 weeks. I traveled around Russia and I came back here yesterday. So what I have to do right now is go to that Russian visa center and book an appointment. I need to book an appointment so I can bring them all the documents needed and they can process my application so I can get the transit visa to go to Russia one more time and then move forward to Central Asia. So hopefully that works out. It's probably gonna cost me a little, maybe about 200 euros. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. Hopefully I can book an appointment for tomorrow, because tomorrow is Friday and after that, well, it's gonna be closed for the weekend, so I'll have to wait until Monday. And there it is. I've already been here twice actually, just to ask questions basically, the first time I came into Georgia and when I came back from Armenia as well. But now it's actually time we go and book an appointment, so let's see how it goes. Okay, I'm now in an area of Tbilisi called Varketili. This is the last subway station of the city and I found a hostel around here, so I'm gonna go and see if this hostel is better than the one I was in last night. Okay, road rage. Anyway, I have been to the visa center, and now I know how long I'm gonna have to stay here, and it is pretty bad. I'm gonna have to stay here for 17 days total. That is a lot of time. At least I'll really be able to catch up with all the editing I need to do. So that is good, I guess. But yeah, 17 days is a lot. So I booked this pretty cheap hostel. That's about 5 euros per night. So I hope it's decent. If it's decent enough, I'm gonna stay here and try not to spend too much during those 17 days. I have my appointment on Tuesday, so that's in 5 days, so I have all the time I need to get my paperwork. And then they're going to keep my passport for 11 days, so I'll be basically stuck here. And then I can finally get my stuff back and move on to Kazakhstan. I mean to Russia and then to Kazakhstan. Ah, there it is. Can I go in? Huh, should I ring? Hello, I'm here to check in at Why Me Hostel.
Do you have a reservation?
Yes, I have.
Please.
Okay, thank you. Hello.
Do you have a reservation from hostel room?
Yes, exactly.
Your name is a very quiet
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like this is our balcony. We have children and everything.
Yeah, it's a nice place.
If you go
I like
up
it.
the stairs, all the way up, there is a roof terrace upstairs.
Okay, cool.
So this is the bed I told already.
Yes.
There is a common room.
Okay. Hello there. Look, I'm in the toilets of a random bar in Tbilisi. Look what I'm seeing here. You know that guy. Check those people out. Like, I don't need to name them. You know all of them. Check this picture here. Like, what is going on in Tbilisi? Seriously. Oh, that guy. Remember that guy? Well, he's dead. No, bro, this is too much. This is too much. Good morning, everyone. It has been a while. Well, for me, not for you. Haven't really been filming anything since I arrived here in Tbilisi, which feels good. I'm not gonna lie, I like filming, I like making videos, but you know, I've been pretty much filming every day since, you know, for 2 months. So it's good to take a break. So yeah, today is the day of the appointment. I gathered all my documents. I'm not gonna show them to you because there is way too much personal information. I had to print out all of my bus tickets and train tickets in Russia, going all the way to Kazakhstan. I also had to print my travel insurance, which cost about 5 euros for 3 days. I also had to do some identity photos, and I had to fill out a form online, so it wasn't that difficult. I would say it's probably easier than the e-visa in terms of like the documents you have to gather. The only constraint is really the timeline here, because obviously I had to wait 5 days for my appointment. So now it's in 15 minutes. I just have to give them all of this. Hopefully I've got everything, didn't get anything wrong. I already had to pay 45 euros just for the appointment, just to get the appointment. And the visa processing fees, well, it's even more expensive. I think it's about 200 euros total. That's what people usually have to pay for this visa. So yeah, some people also had problems to book the bus tickets and train tickets online. I didn't. The websites are a bit buggy, but you know, you just have to try several times, and at some point it works, even with my foreign card. So didn't really have a problem with that. So yeah, that's a pretty heavy fee, but I really want to go to Central Asia, man. I didn't want to go all the way to Mongolia or do like completely change my itinerary like that. I didn't want to do that, so I'm ready to pay the 200 euros. And it's done, finally, all done. I mean, not really, now I have to wait for 10 days. In 10 days, I'll be able to get my visa and my passport, especially my passport, because right now I am without passport. I don't have any ID documents. I'm just here, just existing, I guess. And I'm in a neighborhood called Goritsitse. I'm just crossing the train tracks right now. Remember, this is how I came here the first time, by train from Batumi. Feels like it was so long ago already. I mean, it kind of was. Well, definitely doesn't feel as modern as the city center around here. This is definitely from the Soviet Union. Don't think that works. Oh, I can go. Where on earth am I right now? I think I got lost here in Tbilisi. Can you believe I came all the way here just to buy this Dubai chocolate here? It's not even that good. I don't really like that. It's 8 euros just for a tablet. Like, come on, come on. What wouldn't you do for a girl, eh? I feel like I still don't know that city at all. Oh, look here. Yeah, this is an amusement park at the top of the hill. And I think there's a cable car to get here. I think there's about 3 cable cars in the city. I need to try all of them. I already tried the one that goes to the mother of Georgia, the big statue, and this amusement park that could be a good idea for a date. Maybe. I'll keep that in mind. Ah. No, this one no.
Large.
It's large?
Large,
This one no, too big. Too big. This one, what is the price?
Large.
Yes. 35.
55.
Just large.
It's large, super.
Okay, I will try. This 25.
25?
25?
Ah.
Okay, I take it. You have change? Okay, Madloba. Ooh, this market is way too big, man. Kamadjoba, you have men perfume?
Yes.
How much is this one?
1 milligram Sanwari.
And look at all those fake brands. Kamadjoba. Just looking. Salvage instead of Sauvage. Blue de Challenge. Mi-million. Can I smell? Blue de Chenal. Givenchy. Can I? What is the price? Price, money. 10. I take it. Okay, Madloba. They're really trying their all to imitate us, huh? Shows how great French perfumes are. But honestly, that's only about 3 euros. This is crazy. I don't care if it's a real deal or not. Like, it smells good and it's 3 euros, so why not take it? Okay, shopping time is over. I figured you guys probably grew tired of seeing me with the same 2 sweatshirts all the time. So I bought some new clothes. I'm gonna show you that. Outfit check. I think I'm ready for spring now. It's kinda crazy how deep underground this metro is. You need like a full minute just to go down the escalator. So today is Monday the 11th and I decided to go to Batumi today. So I'm going to the train station right now. The weather is kind of crazy, you know, it's 7 AM right now. I'm already like almost sweating. I figured why not wait a few days on the beach, you know, just chilling on the Black Sea. So online the train appeared full, I couldn't buy a ticket, but I figured why not try, go to the train station, maybe I can find some last minute seat or something, so let's go for it. I'm gonna say my success rate at showing up last minute at the train station to buy a ticket for a train that seems to be full is very high for me. You know, I actually bought the ticket on the train right now. So I'd say just try it. Worst case scenario, you just lose a few minutes, maybe half an hour or something. And best case scenario, well, you're on the train. I made it back to Batumi. Yes, I made it back because this is actually the first city that I visited in this country. It was already well over a month ago. Check it out. The beach is there. You have those tall skyscrapers there. This is the city center. And this is the kind of city that you appreciate in good weather. When I came here, well, it was raining, it was windy, it was cold. Not a very great experience. So now I'm gonna be able to see it like in all its glory and just appreciate the beach for a bit. First time swimming in the Black Sea. That was pretty nice. It's still a bit cold. I mean, we're still like early May, so it's a bit cold, but that was alright. Well, woo! I almost lost that one. Well, I guess I'm going back to Tbilisi tomorrow morning. I have nothing else to do here. I mean, don't feel really motivated to do anything. I just wanted to go for a swim and that's it. That's a bit of a waste of money to come here just for this, but you know, it is how it is. Good morning from Tbilisi again. What is going on with my haircut? Anyway, I'm in front of the world's largest bike. What is going on with this? I don't know. There's just a really big bike structure here for some reason. And here there's like the world's prettiest McDonald's for some reason again. I don't know. Anyway, I don't even know how long I've been there at this point. I think about 2 weeks. Yeah, probably like 2 weeks. And today I'm finally going to retrieve my passport. So my visa is ready. And yeah, I'm gonna get it. And my mission here will be done. Hello, I am in my hotel room right now. Yeah, I'm not at this hostel anymore. I stayed there for a long time, for almost 10 days. I had enough of people snoring all night. So yeah, I took a hotel room. It is pretty nice. I pay around 19 euros per night, somewhere around there. And believe it or not, it is already my last day in Georgia. Tomorrow, I'm going to Russia. I'm saying already, for me it's been a really long time, but I know I haven't been recording much because, I haven't been doing much here, to be honest. I mostly took those days stuck in Tbilisi as, rest for the most part. And I worked on my videos, of course, as well. I got my transit visa, it's only valid for 2 days, so tomorrow I'll be in Russia. And 2 days later, I'll be in Kazakhstan. At least I have to, otherwise I'll be in trouble. And you don't want to be in trouble in Russia, right? So yeah. So before leaving, I'm gonna do a little review of my finances. Like how much did I pay for food, for accommodation, for activities, transport. I have a whole spreadsheet of it. Like every time I make a payment, I write it down on my phone so I can, gather some data about it. And I think some of you are interested in that. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it. And then I will show you my plan for the next weeks, next months actually, until the end in New Zealand, even though it's not a concrete plan yet, but I'm gonna show you where I'm at right now and what I plan to do. So yeah, let's do this. So yeah, I got that spreadsheet in front of me. I'm not gonna show it to you because, there's just too much stuff, but I have made a total of 383 payments so far. Like that includes everything, anytime I just tap my card or give some cash, I write it down. 67 days, 67. And before leaving, well, my budget, I didn't have like a very tight budget, but what I wanted to spend was about 20 euros per day, not including transport, which is admittedly a very low budget, and I knew that I would most likely go way beyond that. So how much have I spent so far? I'm gonna give you the total right now of how much I've spent since day one in Morocco, and the total is actually, around 4,000 euros. I converted everything in euros, and that's 4,000, which is a lot of money, I'm not going to lie. Like when I calculated that, I was like, there's probably something wrong about this, but no, I checked and no, that's the actual amount. That is actually about 60 euros per day, but it includes everything, food, transport, accommodation, literally everything that I've had to buy like in my trip so far. And I have visited about 13 countries with that budget, even though some of them I just went through, to be honest. So let's just break it down a bit. So in terms of transport, I spend 1,450 euros. So I was planning to spend about 2,000 euros to, do the whole trip, in terms of transportation. So I'm gonna go way beyond that. So yeah, that makes about 21 euros and 70 cents per day on average. And that's by far my biggest expense. To be fair, I'm traveling so much, I'm taking so many trains, buses, the ferry. And it also includes like every public transport I took, like inside the cities, taxi. I didn't really take taxis much. I have actually tried to save, but still, like, it does add up at the end of the day. And I also rented cars, so that adds up quite a lot. Renting a car can be pretty expensive. But I am expecting to spend less about transports in the future because I'm most likely not gonna rent any car until I reach New Zealand. And transports between cities should be cheaper in the countries that I'm gonna be visiting in the future. Most things should be cheaper because, I have crossed Europe, I've crossed Russia. Russia is not a very expensive country, but still, I do expect the countries in Central Asia and Southeast Asia to be cheaper than the countries I've crossed until now. Because I'm only at, maybe about a third of my trip. I don't want to spend 8,000 more. That's a lot of money. But anyway, let's move on to food. So I have spent 986 euros for food, which adds up to about 14 euros and 72 cents per day. So that is quite a lot, but at the same time not that much considering like I pretty much eat out every day. I love trying local food, but sometimes I also go to fast food restaurants. I need to meet my quotas, for calories, for proteins and stuff. I need to eat, especially when I'm doing some physical activity. I'm doing that every day just by walking, to be fair, so I need to eat quite a bit. But yeah, maybe I can try to lower that in the future. And then accommodation is the one that I think I'm doing alright for the most part, because I have spent 659 euros, which adds up to about 9 euros and 83 cents per day. So I have managed to stay below the 10 euros per day, which I think is okay, especially considering like the countries I've crossed. I really tried my best to, you know, stay in hostels and really spend as little as possible on accommodation. You know, I mean, right now I'm in a hotel, but like that's not what I'm doing most days. Southeast Asia should be much cheaper for that. I mean, I've been there already. I know that you can find some really decent hostels for like 4 or 5 euros a night, so it should go down even more, most likely. I could also do some couch surfing. I mean, to be honest, for the few of you that watch my Corsica video, I used a hammock in that one, and I still have it, you know, but I left it at home. I was considering taking it, but just it takes a lot of space, to be honest. And also it's not easy to use, you know, a tent is way more useful. I don't really have one. I could also have taken my sleeping bag, but it was like half the size of my backpack. So I was like, there's just no way I'm taking this. It just takes too much space. I can't carry this around. And I do think that was for the best, because I mean, I'm struggling sometimes in like some minibuses. They don't have room for backpacks and all. Sometimes it gets difficult, you know. So if I was carrying a sleeping bag, a hammock, or even a tent, that would be really hard. You know, it could be really fun to just, you know, be invited in people's homes, and, you know, that's also how you really discover the life of the actual people living there. So yeah, I would really like to be hosted by people in the future of the trip, but we'll see if that's possible. And I think I should also try to hitchhike more. I mean, I've been hitchhiking just a little bit, mostly in Bosnia. I don't even know if I've hitchhiked like 5% of the trip so far, so maybe I should hitchhike more. Because that's also a good way to, you know, meet local people and, well, save money, of course, as well. So visas I've written 765, but that includes my working holiday visa in Australia. That alone is 400 euros. That's pretty expensive. That's where I plan to go after my trip is over. You know, I'm gonna go to Australia and work there for probably 1 year using this visa. So I probably shouldn't count it on this trip. So not counting that, that's less than 400 euros. And most of it actually comes from this transit visa I'm getting, you know, to go to Russia right now, just to stay for 3 days and then go to Kazakhstan, you know. Then I got SIM card, 70 euros. Fair enough. Activities, only 150 euros. You know, that includes, you know, entries to any museums, any parks. Most of it was in Turkey, actually. I paid like 40 euros to get into places like Pamukkale and stuff. I'm not spending much for activities. And, you know, I'm okay with that. I'm okay just walking around the cities, you know, just sightseeing and, you know, not really doing any specific activities. I'm okay with that. Laundry, 27 euros. You know, just a small expense, something I need to do every once in a while. And insurance, 42 euros, that's really not much, but I'm not a good example on that. Most countries I don't have travel insurance. I know I should. So yeah, now I'm just gonna quickly break it down by country. I'm only gonna consider like the countries that matter, because there are some countries I only stayed like 1 or 2 days. It's not really significant. So Morocco I have spent, so I'm gonna do it per day. I have spent 116 euros per day, which is an absurd amount of money. That's just way too much. To be fair, I've only stayed there for 4 days. But I mean, most of that is coming from the car I rented in Morocco. That was very expensive, stupidly expensive, to be honest, but I guess that was worth it. We saw some cool things in Morocco. And also the ferry I took to go all the way to France. You know, it was a long ferry. It was over 120 euros just by itself. So that's why it adds up to so much. Because I also did another total that only includes food, accommodation and activities. And this time I get 21 euro per day. So that's very different, as you can see. I wouldn't say Morocco is an expensive country. I just spent a lot because, you know, of the transport. Then Bosnia, I have spent about 45 euros per day, which is also quite a lot of money for a country like Bosnia. I didn't expect to spend that much. You know, and with only food, accommodation and activities, I get to 33 euros and 50 cents per day. Bosnia is a cheap country compared to Europe, but it's still a European country at the end of the day. Like I would maybe spend 15 euros per day just for accommodation, and then probably the same for food. So yeah, it does add up to quite a bit. Then we got Turkey, and Turkey I did spend quite a bit. I did spend 62 euros per day, and a lot of it is coming from transports, because I mean, we took a lot of long distance buses to go around the country, check the different spots. So removing all of this, I get 39 euros and 80 cents. So right below the 40 euro bar. And I mean, I'm not really surprised, because I knew that Turkey is a pretty expensive country. You know, it's not a cheap country. I mean, to be fair, we didn't really restrain ourselves with Axel on the food, because we wanted to try so much Turkish food. Turkish food is so great. So yeah, that's how we spent so much. Then Georgia, we also got 2 very different results. So everything included, that's 47 euros per day. And only food and accommodation, that's only 23 euros per day. So I think a big part of that is the rental car, but not just the rental car. I mean, the rental car was about 20 euros per day, which is not that expensive, but I did a little scratch on the bumper of the car, and that cost me about 200 euros. So yeah, that's why it adds up to so much, but not including that. That's actually the country where I went to the closest to my 20 euros per day budget, you know, for food, accommodation and activities. Then Armenia, I spent 27 euros per day, and everything included 34 euros, which is not that much, but we have to consider that I went there with the car rented in Georgia, so I didn't have to pay anything for transport. So that's why it doesn't add up to that much. Armenia is not an expensive country. I would say that Georgia and Armenia are pretty much, you know, in the same budget. But in Russia though, I spent over 1,000 euros just in Russia, which is a lot of money. And that adds up to about 81 euro per day, everything included. But hear me out, if we include only food and accommodation and activities, I paid 23 euro and 70 cents, so about the same as Georgia. So no, I wouldn't say Russia is an expensive country. So why does it add up to that much? Well, there's two reasons. The first one is the visa. That's already like, I think, pretty close to 300 euros just for visas. And the second thing is Mount Elbrus. I spent a shit ton of money on Mount Elbrus. Just for all the gear, the cable car, the mountain hut where I slept, like all of this combined, that's a lot of money. I think that's most of the reason why it adds up to so much money. I also had to buy a Garmin charger for my watch that cost like 50 euros. I mean, you know, all those little things that, I mean, I do count them, but maybe I shouldn't sometimes. You know, like in Georgia as well, like I've bought some new clothes, you know, stuff like this that I need to buy sometimes, but you know, it doesn't really have anything to do with the country I'm currently in, you know. So it just adds up to the total. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about my budget. You know, I know some people were interested about this. I will try to keep that lower in the future, you know. But you know, I still need a roof over my head, I still need to eat enough, and well, transport, obviously, I travel a lot, as you know. I'm going all the way to New Zealand, so of course, travel is gonna add up quite a lot. You know, I've heard some people say, like, why are you doing this? You know, it ends up being more expensive than the flight. Well, I know, it's not the point. The point was definitely not to get to New Zealand like cheaper than by flying. I am traveling and visiting, not just, you know, traveling. But yeah, pretty much all I have to say for now. I will come back a bit later to show you my plan for the next few weeks and few months for the rest of this journey, basically. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. So I'm going to show you now where I am. I mean, you know where I am. I'm in Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia, right here. And I'm going to show you where I'm going, like what is the plan now, because of course the plan has evolved since I started the journey. You know, as you may know, I mean, I did a video about this right before the start of the mission, showing my plan, showing where I was going and all. It didn't get much views, so for the maybe several people, maybe a few people that saw that, I mean, I've been planning this trip for over 6 months now, so I had several plans that just fell apart for the most part, like going to Iran. Obviously, the Iran plan fell apart. The India plan fell apart. I wanted to go to India as well, but I mean, all of this is not going to happen. So my last plan right before leaving was to do a loop in the Middle East, you know, go to Iraq, Saudi Arabia, all that stuff, and then go back to Turkey, which was a bit of a dumb plan when you think about it, because I was really doing a loop for no reason, except that, I mean, I wanted to visit those countries, of course. Yeah, I mean, right before I started, like, most of those countries got bombed. So, you know, while I was starting the mission in Morocco and then in Europe, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go to Iraq and all those countries. So I ended up not doing that, and, I mean, didn't have any problems. You know, this first part of the mission was not very difficult. It was just about, you know, taking buses, trains, and crossing the borders was easy, of course, in the European Union. I mean, there's no borders, basically. But even after that, it's like, maybe it takes 1 hour, 2 hours to cross a border. Sometimes it takes times, but it's not difficult per se. And then I went to Georgia, as you know, and then I went to Armenia, because the thing is, the border between Armenia and Turkey is still closed to this day. I've been in Georgia for a long time now. Like, the first time I arrived in Georgia from Turkey, it's been, well, over 5 weeks now, and I'm still in Georgia today. Tomorrow I'm leaving. As I told you, I'm going to go through Russia. I'm gonna go back to Vladikavkaz, where I've been to before, just stay there for a day, and then the next day I'm gonna take a bus to Astrakhan, this city right here, close to the border with Kazakhstan. I'm going to take a train from here and go to Kazakhstan this time. Then I will be in Central Asia. So what will I do in Central Asia? That's the big question here. I'm planning to only stay in the western, like the very western region, so Atirao and then the Mangistau region. Maybe go to Aktau. I want to go to Aktau. That's really my only opportunity to see the Caspian Sea. So I think I'll go to Aktau. And then after a few days, I'll be moving on to Uzbekistan already. I want to do a real trip of Uzbekistan, really see like most of the good places. I mean, as many good places as I can see like throughout the country. This region here, that's called Karakalpakstan. I'm gonna cross this border by train. My original plan, I mean, when I started the mission, I wanted to go to Turkmenistan. I wanted to cross Turkmenistan from Kazakhstan, but I knew it would be difficult, and yeah, it turns out it is. You can't really do that without a tour guide. I heard about a transit visa, but I don't think it's really valid anymore. You can't really get it. So it will be Uzbekistan instead, which I was not really planning to visit. But if I'm not going to Turkmenistan, then I'll take my time visiting Uzbekistan, of course, all the way to Tashkent. And then I will go back down to this town called Termez here. So why this town specifically? Because this is where you can get a visa for Afghanistan. Yes, I want to go to Afghanistan, actually. I am actually very excited to visit this country. I mean, I've heard a lot of things about it. I've seen a lot of videos about it. I don't think it's really dangerous. The Talibans, like the people that are governing this country right now, they want tourists, they want people coming from all over the world and showing their country. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Now, I'm not going to go there and be like, oh, the Taliban is perfect, everything is perfect in Afghanistan. No, that's not the kind of thing I'm doing. So I'm going to go there and look for myself and see how it is and say what I really think about this country. That's what I want to do. I want to go around the country, basically. And then when I'm in Kabul, the capital, I would like to go to Pakistan from there, because you see it's very close to that border. So I would cross that border and then go to Peshawar. The thing is, there is literally fighting at this border right now. Like, they're actually like shooting each other at the border. So this might not be a good time to go there. I mean, obviously it's closed right now. We'll have to see, because that's gonna be in over a month from now. So the situation can change. So if I can't go there, I have a plan B. It's not really a problem. I can go to Tajikistan instead. This country here, a very mountainous country, and I can cross the border here, around Kunduz. I can cross this border and go to Dushanbe, and then from there I will go to what they call, I think, the Pamir Highway, a very difficult road in the mountains that people like to cross by motorcycle, biking, etc. There's like this autonomous region of Gorno-Badakhshan here, so that's the one I would be crossing. You actually need a special permit for that, but I think I can get it in Dushanbe most likely. So I would cross this region and then go to China from there. From what I've seen, it's a very remote border, like kind of in the middle of nowhere on a mountain pass. I mean, the one from Pakistan is as well. If I cross from Pakistan, it's something called the Kunjela Pass. It's the only border crossing between Pakistan and China. And it's the highest border crossing in the entire world. From there, I will be going into Xinjiang. The good thing is for Xinjiang, you don't need any specific permits. For me, it's really great because I don't actually need a visa for China right now. I can stay 30 days in the country with only my passport, which is great. I plan on staying maybe a week in Xinjiang. And then I don't really know exactly what I'm going to do. Like, there's so many great things to visit in China, obviously. Oh, I'm gonna see the Great Wall of China, I'm gonna go to Beijing, Shanghai. The thing is, I don't really know if I have time for that. I could spend several months in China easily, but there is still many countries after that. I mean, you can cross the country pretty quickly with their high-speed trains, they're really good. I don't know exactly where I will stop, maybe in Chongqing, maybe some other cities. I will go south towards Southeast Asia and then cross into Laos. That's the plan. So I'll spare you all the details about it, but basically I'll be going down Southeast Asia. That would be, I should have a good time there. I mean, I've been to these countries, I've been to Laos, I've been to Thailand, and I mean, I'm excited to go back. I just want to be on an island and chill on the beach for a few days. I'm excited to do that. And then go to Malaysia, and then Singapore maybe for a bit, not that long because it's an expensive country, but I'd like to see it as well. I mean, if I go there, it would be a shame not to go to Singapore, right? And from there, that's where I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I mean, I know that I'm most likely going to go to Indonesia. I'm gonna have to do that, and I'm excited. That's a country I really want to see. And there are ferries. You can go to Indonesia by ferry, but I don't even know which way. I might go to this island, to Sumatra, or to the island of Borneo if I want to, in which case I could go to the country of Brunei as well. I mean, it will mostly depend on what I'm gonna do after, because I don't know what I'm gonna do after Indonesia. Like, that's the big question mark. of how I'm gonna get to New Zealand from Indonesia. Because getting all the way there, you can do that on public transports, ferries and stuff. But you can go to, let's say, Australia by ferry. It's not a thing. There's no ferry going to Australia, and I mean even less going to New Zealand, of course. So it's like I'm gonna go somewhere in Indonesia, maybe go to Timor-Leste as well if I can. I'd like to do that. But yeah, it will depend. It will very much depend. I mean, I've been looking already at websites where, you know, it's like boat captains looking for crew members, and I think that's what I'm probably gonna do, try to be a crew member in a boat. If I can get that sorted before being in Indonesia, that would be great. You know, that would save me a lot of trouble. I mean, let's say I go to Bali, for example, and try to look for a boat. I might be stuck there for several weeks, and I might not even find one at all. You know, it's a gamble. So if I have to, I will do that. I will go to Indonesia and try to hit some ports and find a boat there by talking to people and stuff. But if I can get that sorted before, well, that's much better, obviously. I don't have a concrete plan for that place. I'm just saying that, you know, somewhere around this region, I'm gonna try to find a boat and go to New Zealand. So the best thing would be to do it in one go. But like from my research so far, I haven't found really anyone going from Indonesia to New Zealand. There are some common stops like Australia, like Fiji, or like French Polynesia. French Polynesia is really out of the way, but there's a possibility that I might have to like be a crew member on two different boats. You know, for example, I don't know, one going from Indonesia to Fiji and one going from Fiji to New Zealand. It's a possibility, but I mean, for now, I don't really know much more than that. I think I'll start looking at it more seriously when I reach like China. So yeah, this is what the plan looks like for now. To reach, well, New Zealand. As you know, I'm going to around this place. Where is it exactly? Yeah, it's close to this town, Whangarei. My arrival point is around this town. I mean, the only kind of deadline that I have is the cyclone season in the South Pacific. So around here there is a cyclone season, so I would like to cross that ocean before it happens, you know, because after that it's like no one is gonna sail the seas. And I think it starts around something like November, so late August, September, October at the latest, and get to New Zealand maybe in October. That would be great. So that would be in about 5 months. I've been at it for 2 months already, so that would be a total of about 7 months, which seems fair. It's obviously going to evolve as I keep crossing through Central Asia, Southeast Asia, and then Oceania. We'll have to see how it looks like at the end, you know, it's just a rough idea for now. I always try to leave some giggle room for, you know, things that could happen, you know, positive or negative. And yeah, that's about it for my plan, and that's also about it for this video. You know, I hope you guys enjoyed it. It is kind of a filler video, but I mean, you know, I stayed here for like 17 days. I felt like I had to do kind of a recap, kind of a summary of what I've been doing, how much I've been spending, and you know, what's the plan for the rest of the mission. But yeah, tomorrow I will be going to Russia again. There will be a video about it, obviously, about crossing Russia in 3 days. Now obviously there's gonna be a lot of transports involved, but that's not gonna be all there is. I'm gonna try to see some places, specifically the city of Astrakhan. I heard it's a pretty good city, so I'm excited to see it before going to Kazakhstan. So I hope you guys will be there for the rest of the mission, and until then, I will catch you guys later. Peace out.